I don't know what the fuck I did. Honestly, I was following too many rules, and need to remember that after a point, we get into just like a horribly unfriendly stretch there. Of S's and Z's and T's. I think there are phrases they use for them. Maybe I should start using them. I think it's S, Z, T, L, J, and then maybe square or O, and then I, and sometimes U. Huh? That's pretty funny, right? Yeah, it would be, and sometimes Y, wouldn't it? Yeah. Like, I'm not at my best. So why am I doing this? There's been this vein in the side of my forehead that's been like bulging every time I play this now. Maybe it's just pressure. It was kind of nice to be at the end of the semester. We had our end of the semester party today. That was very nice. I think I accidentally got put onto a committee, but it's good because I want to be doing more stuff like that. That was one of my plans for this year, is to do more stuff like that. And I like the people I work with, and I like the job that I do, and I'm very fortunate to be where I am. So it's one of those things that you don't really want to take for granted, because I've worked bad jobs. I've worked great jobs, but I've worked bad jobs. And, this is far from that. Worst job I ever had, I was the front desk. Okay, actually, I was the front desk guy at a fitness center in a nascent country club that did not yet really have more than a few members at the time, and also the guy who was bankrolling the operation was like about to go to jail for improper handling of asbestos, and it wasn't really him in charge of it. I guess it was his kids. But that was a horrible. It wasn't okay. I call it the worst job I ever had. What was so bad about that was that it was just boring, and there's one guy who would complain. He would just come in to use the sauna. Right, they had this like electric microwave sauna thing, and he would come in to oh goodness, he would come in to use the sauna, right? And the sauna didn't fucking work. Nobody knew how to get it to work. And we'd ask the management, and they'd be like, okay, we'll figure out how to get it working. And then I'd be gone for like 2 days between shifts, and I'd be like, well, is the sauna working? And they're like, no, nobody's done anything about it. And what I will put on him as a customer, because like, look, I'm not one to, I have a way that I go about things like this, and it's different from the way that he did in this case, which is that at that point, if I came here for the sauna, right, and sauna has not worked, does not work, and seemingly has never, and may not. At some point, I fucked that royally. At some point, what I do is I point the finger at myself, as our president one time said, can't get fooled again. And by that point, I'm just canceling my membership. Now, I don't know how flexible the membership cancellation thing is, but at some point, there's got to be like a point at which you stop berating like the staff there, who have been saying, yeah, we're sorry, we're trying to get somebody in on it, this is not something that we can really handle, like this is just not something in our purview, in our control, you know. And at a point, you have to kind of choose to listen to them. Okay, well, we're fucked. Yeah, whatever. And ultimately, this is the fault of the video game. Are we gonna... Can we get a fucking eyepiece in here? Jesus Christ. For the love... I mean... I have a phrase, I say futlog. F-T-L-O-G, for the love of God. But that was it? I did all that for that? I don't know why I'm fucking playing this. Thinking my horrible jobs I've had. And the guy would just keep coming in and complaining about the fucking sauna. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and reset there. And it was to the point where it's like, you gotta go up the chain of command to yell at somebody, because none of us are gonna do it. And look, you know, I sympathize with the man wanting to use the sauna, and being in a town like ours that doesn't have, like, you know, nobody's pouring water on hot stones here. I think at the time, and I'll say I've never been in a sauna, so I can't say. It might be an absolutely life-changing experience. And maybe if I were to start using one consistently by the time that I'm his age, by the time that I'm in my 60s and retired, maybe I'll find it's completely worth berating impotently a staff of, like, minimum wage workers. Because that's one thing, like, it's not, there are some people who just, like, don't need an excuse to berate the service staff, and that is unfortunate, but I get it. I don't get it personally, but, like, it's just, I get that as a fact of life. But what would do it for me is the total impotence and the knowledge that, like, I just keep butting my head up against this wall. There's that idea of, like, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? But, like, the idea is that there has to be somebody who is capable of applying the grease here that is listening, and I just, like, it was a problem of the people who ran the whole place, right? But he couldn't get to them, and I imagine he signed some contract, meaning he was stuck there. You know, this is not a place where they do month to month. I mean, you can get onto, you know, the phone with an account representative and see how quickly things change, but, like, that was a really, and I don't know that he didn't necessarily. I don't know what happened to that guy, and that is astounding that really it was one guy, because otherwise that job was just boring. Otherwise that job would have just been one boring job I've held. In fact, of every career I've held, or every job I've held, let's say, in which I got, like, a paycheck, because I freelanced for a bit, but I'm not going to count that. would say that job was mostly just boring. And that would have been the worst thing about it. The other, like, I've never really been, like, mistreated. I've been, I suppose, treated worse than I should have been, which I guess is the definition of mistreatment. But I never felt like I was ever, like, exploited in any position I've ever worked. I've always, now the worst job that I ever held, which I really disliked getting up and going to every day, was a summer after my freshman year of college. I worked at this store in a mall that was on its last legs, and I was basically a clerk at, and I mean, I was a clerk, literally, and then I believe that was my job title, and then I was sort of inadvertently also drafted into the position of moving everything from one storefront to the other, because they had just moved from, I mean, this mall was on its dying legs, as I have stated, and they just moved into a storefront that had been occupied by Saks off Fifth, back when the mall had been constructed in the 1990s. And this was when I was in college, which eagle-eared viewers will recognize was in the mid-2010s. So it had been, from what I understand, dormant for that long. There may have been something else that took residence there, but I don't, of course, like, I don't have the records of the times to say what was or was not there when, so please, God, give me another one. Oh my God, are you fucking kidding me? Oh my, fucking hell, okay. That's not gonna matter. Yeah. Well, we did it. There it is. How about that? All right. 1 a.m. May, man, I don't even know which day in May it is. That's been kind of a running theme. I think it's the 4th. 1 a.m. May 4th, 2024. We did it. In one of the most curious days of my existence, no, I wouldn't say that, but in a very full day, let's say, coffee spilled to start the day, 1,140,015 is the score with which we finish Nintendo World Championships 1990 here. And hey, no better way to do it. I will not keep anybody waiting. We're just gonna have to put that up, and I really should have slow rolled this, I guess. I could fake it, pretend I'm doing more for sustained viewership, but honestly I'm pretty fucking sick of playing this game. I started on April 13th. April 13th with 164,055, a meager total. Built up, broke 500,000 for the first time on April 19th, broke 600,000 for the first time on the 20th, broke 700,000 for the first time on the 22nd, 800,000 100,000 for the first time on the 22nd. I think it was when I figured out I could do the upward like turbo in Rad Racer, and kind of hung out around there. April 30th, broke 88. What was a personal best. Accidentally glitched out the cartridge before I kind of cartridge tilted it on accident, dropped my controller and it hit the console, and then yeah, 882,365 yesterday, and finally today here we are, 1,140,015. All while I was talking about that guy in the fucking sauna, and that job I worked summer after freshman year. Really, summer after sophomore year was the worst of it. So here we are. We've done it. I'm the world champion.